very good. And then we have Armand. Exactly similar.
Everyone, thanks for coming. We appreciate you all attending our demo night tonight. We actually have a great group of demos folks presenting, and we couldn't do this without Microsoft here to sponsor, and especially Peter, who we want to say a few words on behalf of M12 and Microsoft.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Artie, for organizing this. My name is Peter. I'm one of the managing partners at M12, which is Microsoft's venture fund. We invest in startups from seed through Series B, primarily B2B focused software startups across a wide variety of verticals, including but not limited to, of course, AI-enabled software. We also have, we're delighted to have you guys here in our space. This is also co-hosted by Microsoft for Startups. We work very closely with them. They actually offer a wide variety of benefits to all manner of startups. You don't have to be an M12 portfolio company to take advantage of this. We've got a whole bunch of different things, including Azure and OpenAI credits, access to software and licensing. And so if you want to take advantage of that, check out Microsoft Founders Hub. We've got a bunch of resources for founders of all stripes. And just want to say welcome and thank you for all for coming. I'm delighted to see, I love the founder energy and the builder energy. Very excited to see the demos tonight. And a huge thanks to Artie for organizing. So we're very excited to be here and co-host.
This is awesome. So I'm Artie Merritt. I'm the founder of Reconify. Again, we appreciate everyone coming here. I think there might be out of pizza, but there are drinks. So we have 6 demos for tonight. I was going to show a quick demo of Reconify while I have you all here. This will be really fast, and then we'll jump into the demos. So Reconify is an analytics platform for generative AI. If you're building any kind of generative AI application, whether that's chat-related, customer service chatbots, agent assist, call summarization, or it could be applications that are doing text creation or image creation, really any kind of Gen AI application. So what you're seeing here is just the dashboard view of all the apps that I'm tracking. I'm going to pick one so to get hopefully a little bit more interesting. This particular app is a chat app. Some of the metrics are what you'd think of as traditional analytics. We track things like users and sessions, but since it is Gen AI, we start to track things around the models too. So the token usage, the cost, the latency. Some folks are really concerned about both of those, costs and latency. But what's much more interesting than these numeric metrics is really when you get into what people are actually trying to do. What are they saying in the prompts, or how are the responses coming back from the model? So these are all the individual prompts in this particular application. I can filter them based on the types. Now you can see all the user ones. And if I was to pick one, like what should I see in San Francisco, I can see all the responses from that particular prompt, and then I can actually compare and look at similar prompts. What were similar prompts to that one based on the semantic similarity, and you can see here how similar they are, like 96% the same versus 90%, and then you can start comparing those different responses when you change the prompt slightly. But instead of viewing all these prompts individually, where it's a bit overwhelming, if you do the cluster of them, if you cluster them all together, this helps you identify the underlying intents. What are people trying to actually do in this application? And here I can see there's a bunch of folks asking about how long it takes to get to Mars. And so now I can explore all the related prompts to that. And similar to what I've shown before, I can compare multiple prompts and see what those responses are like. You can do the same thing from the response side. If you see all the different responses, instead of viewing those, we can cluster them, and it's doing it in real time, so it takes just a second. It's doing the semantic clustering based on the meanings and not necessarily the words themselves. And now we can compare prompts. So if I was to pick that same Mars example, it'll show all the related responses, and it can pick multiple ones and then see what were the prompts like. So if I compare this one, and this one's like 94% the same, see how different they are. So this is, you're a space scientist, how long is a trip to Mars? You know, you're a NASA researcher, how long does it take to reach Mars? And the responses are, you know, somewhat similar. But this can help you with either fine-tuning your models, or if you're doing prompt engineering, experimenting with different prompts. The caveat is a bit subjective on whether this is the response effective or not. So we're adding functionality for a feedback loop so you could have the thumbs up, thumbs down, or run it by rating and use that. We keep track of all the other interactions too, so you can sort all these things. So if you care about latency, and go in and see, why was this particular interaction slower. If it's a chat environment, you can see the back and forth transcripts. And then we keep track of all the model usage. So this particular application uses 2 different models, and we can start to see how does the cost and latency compare. But the tool isn't just about the analytics, but there's tools to take action. So one of those tools is this concept of guardrail alerts. And you can set guardrails on both the prompts and the responses. So, perhaps you don't want people asking to tell a funny cat joke. Like, this is kind of silly, but the Samsung example where folks were submitting code and proprietary code that Samsung obviously didn't want to go into the model. You could create a guardrail on the prompt in, and you create it based on how similar the message is. So how similar is this prompt? You can set it 50% similar, 100% the same. And an alert can either go to email or webhook. And you can do the same for responses. So if there's a particular response, you don't want to go out, either it has PII, it's off-brand, sensitive information, you can set the guardrail there too. And in this case, if you do it in the webhook, the neat thing is you can actually take action. So if you get that, you hit the webhook, maybe you want a user to take another look at it and edit it, or you programmatically want to change the response before it goes out. So I can show you this. This is just the asking a cat joke. I'll try it, asking it. I'm just going to do it twice, so hopefully one of them gets a similar enough joke. And then if I go to my email here, hopefully get one of them to trigger. So yeah, I just triggered. So let me zoom in. So I created this alert on this particular response. And this response came in that was 81% similar, so it triggered the alert. This went to email. I can jump in and see that interaction. I can dive into the transcript. But if this went to the webhook, that's when you can actually do something in real time to prevent that response coming back. So that's just a quick overview of Reconify. So if anyone's building Gen AI applications, it's pretty easy to integrate. There's just the NPM and PIP module, and you can see all this data yourself. So that being said, I'm going to hand it over to the folks doing the demos. And first up, we have Ben Rigby with Extra Great Games.
Okay, great. This is more people than I've seen probably in 4 years. So. Thanks, RJ, for having me. So we can connect this up. Thank you. Okay, I'll tell a story while it's loading. So during the pandemic, my son is 11 years old, and he's a couch potato like 100% of the time. He's just like literally eating potato chips on the couch. And do you all remember when Among Us went around? Remember that moment when everyone was playing Among Us? It was at that time. Is that yes? Good, I see yes. Yeah. Among Us is a video game if you haven't played it. And my son, like all of a sudden, he starts screaming with joy. And I run down. I'm like, "What's happening?" He's like, "I'm playing Among Us with my friends. It's the best time I've ever had." And video games really saved him during the pandemic. And at that moment, I said, "Hey, Luca, why don't we make games together instead of just playing? Let's make some games because you have all these ideas in your head." So we sat down with Roblox Studio to make a game. Has anyone tried to make a game in Roblox Studio? Okay. You need to be a coder, right? You need to know how to code. It's like an IDE, and if you've seen an 11-year-old with an IDE, it's kind of a nightmare. He's just like he had drool just kind of coming down. It was like he was on the couch again trying to code but make a game. So in that moment, I said, what if I could use my AI expertise? I was working as SVP of AI at Talk Desk. What if I could use my AI expertise to make the easiest game-making platform on the planet? So that's what I've been doing over the last few months. And I'm at world building, which is what I'm going to show you today, and gameplay is the next step. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a game or a scene, a world, and I'm going to call this one. How can I hold this? I'm going to put this down. Can you still hear me if I talk from here?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to make a game called Island Adventure. So that's my prompt. I'm taking in the prompt, and now I can build a game from scratch. Or, based on my prompt, it's now selecting a number of assets that are related to my game concept. So in a heartbeat, I'm going to pick this island scene right here. And so, it's connected to Island Adventure, and I will pick it and launch. So now within about 30 seconds, I've got a game environment that matches the concept that I came up with in my head, and we can start to build out our game environment. So I'm going to run over here, and this is all web-based. So, if you've ever built a game and had to ship it, you have to build it and ship it to a location like Steam. It takes forever. If you hit this link right now, you will be in this game environment with me. So it's a multiplayer game environment you can drop into on a link, and we can start building this game environment together. So I'm going to make the environment a little more interesting. First, I'm going to delete this default water, and I'm going to add in an ocean. So what I'm doing now is I'm typing in a prompt that is interpreted by the LLM, and it knows what it can do. Like, it knows, the LLM knows what it can do in the 3D world, and it generates the environment based on my prompt. So let's make this ocean a little more interesting. Let's make the waves, let's say waves are small. So now it's taking that prompt, and it's generated some waves on the basis of that prompt. And what's really fun to do in an ocean is to put some crap in it and let it float around. So let's try that. I'm going to say add a barrel. Add a barrel. Again, it's interpreting my prompt. And it's added a barrel right in front of me. And now I'm going to move this barrel out into the ocean. So here I have some click and drag tools, which are actually quite a bit easier to use than generative AI commands. So I'm going to put it in the ocean there, and I'm going to say float that barrel. So float barrel. And now we have that barrel just kind of nicely floating along with the ocean waves there. Now I'm going to add some other crap into the ocean. Does anybody have a suggestion for what I should add?
Pirate ship.
Pirate ship. Okay, so I'm going to say add a, that was like the universal consensus there. Add a pirate ship. Okay. And now I have a little tiny pirate ship that I'm going to make bigger. I'm going to move it out into the ocean. Let's see here. Oops. Select that again. I got that in the way there. Oops. There we go. So I'm going to move it there. Now I'm going to make it a lot bigger. So I'm just going to say make. Oops. What's going on? Make pirate ship big. So make ship huge. And we see it just got quite a bit bigger. And let's see, I'm just going to move it out a little bit. There. Now I'm going to float that ship. So let's do that. Float. Spelled wrong. Float. Ship. And now we've got that ship floating along with the barrel in the ocean.
Wow.
And so, this is a kind of a cool environment, and, we've got some stuff in there, but I want to really enhance it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a nice sky. So let's say, does anyone have a suggestion for what the sky should look like?
Sunset.
Add a sky with a sunset. Anything else?
Birds.
And birds.
Dragons.
And dragons.
Planes.
Okay. I add a sunset with birds and dragons. And so that's going to take about 60 seconds. So while it's happening, I kind of want to make, even though it's kind of a sunset, I kind of want to change the weather. So I'm going to say it's raining. And we'll watch the rain drop in there. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. So it's raining a little bit. The sky's coming in. It's been about 60 seconds. seconds. Oh, we got a nice, oh, look at that dragon. Oh my god. Okay, so we got a sunset with the dragons. And since we have a dragon, I'm thinking maybe we should make those waves kind of like blood red. So let's say waves are blood red. And we'll see that. There we go. So now we've got a blood red ocean. And you know what? We're going to need a little fog here. So the waves are red. It's raining with like fog. We're going to change the weather a little bit more. Then we have some nice fog on the horizon. So the last thing I want to do is I want to add an AI NPC or an AI character that we can talk to. And I've already created a character. You can create characters using a bunch of assets, and you can define their personalities. And you can say what they're like. So I created a pirate before we got here. I'm going to add this pirate here. So this pirate, let's go in there a little bit. Underground there. So I'm going to move them up a little bit. Can't seem to select them at the moment. Let's see. Oh, I didn't press that. There we go. I'm going to move them up, and now we can have a conversation with this pirate. So, does anyone have a question for this pirate?
Where's the gold?
Where is the gold? Where is the gold? So that's hitting a personality model, which has a nice memory, so it can remember what you've spoken with before. He has a very long answer. Searching for gold. Well, okay. So he's describing this. 2 minutes. Okay. So he's describing this, telling you about the gold. So you can add objectives to the character so that he can actually give you gold if you convince him that you should be taking some gold. And this is the beginning of gameplay. So after this is in my next phase as we build up gameplay. Oh, now he's talking. I don't know if you hear me. He's talking in a pirate accent. So this is extra great. My dream is that folks who are non-technical, like my son, or creators, or authors, anyone who has content and is interested in creating a game can make a game with no technical expertise. And that's extra great. Thanks a lot.
And do you want to take any questions?
Yeah, questions. Sure.
Is there a version that we could already use?
Is there a version of what?
Can we use it, or is it still only your
You can use exactly what I showed you there today. So if you go to extragrade.ai, you can drop in and make a
Oh,
game.
cool.
Yeah.
It's live.
Exactly. It's live. It's
Yeah.
live.
Making one right now.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Where are you pulling the images and everything from?
So which images? The backgrounds or the characters or? Okay, everything. So I built a very large library of assets that it does a semantic match against an asset that's related to your concept, and then drops that into the game.
Okay,
So
I
you can-
guess where my question came from is like on the copyright perspective.
Yeah, so I credit the artist. So it's really important to me that the artist gets credit and also paid when we're making money. So each asset is connected to an artist that can then get paid for its use in the game. Anyone else?
Are you plugging on top of an engine, or are you kind of hacking an engine together?
So I built on top of Babylon GPU layer, and coded on top of that.
Okay.
And then I'm plugging into both Azure and OpenAI, fall back from one to the other when one of them is down
Yeah.
to do the LLM stuff.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ben. So next up we have Tian with Amotions.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here. My name is Tian and I'm the founder and CEO of Amotions. Amotions is a startup that focuses on helping managers and teams, everyone in the room, to be more effective and improve people's skills or any critical skills. We do AI-powered coaching and upskilling. And my background, I'm originally from China, and I just become a U.S. citizen today. Thank you. I started my career as a product manager, and I personally struggle with figure out how to do my job as a product manager and how to lead teams and build relationships with managers and colleagues. And I was dreaming having an AI coach that can follow me around and give me real tips and advice and say, hey, you're about to get into an argument with somebody, take a deep breath, don't argue with the engineers. We're working towards that, and today we're kind of demoing the AI coach that at least we can start with talking to the AI coach to get some tips and advice. Now the AI pops up and asks, how am I feeling? So I can talk to the AI actually. So I can say, I'm nervous because I'm starting a new job as a new manager at a tech company. Now the AI can come back with tips and advice. And if anyone has specific use case, let me know and I can play with that as well. So the AI says it's completely normal to feel nervous when starting a new job, especially in a managerial role. Can you share more about what specifically is making you nervous? So you can say, I'm nervous because I don't know how to manage so many people. I'm nervous because I don't know how to manage so many people and how to make them perform well. Now that AI can continue to have conversations. In our platform, we have experts like psychologists, certified coaches, and so we have recorded a lot of the videos, as you can see here, and these will inform how the AI coach can talk to you, almost like a human coach. So now it says, it's understandable to feel nervous about managing a large team and wanting them to perform well. It might be helpful to remember that effective management often involves clear communication, setting realistic expectations, and providing consistent feedback. You could also consider leadership training or workshops for additional strategies and support. Can you share more about your concerns? For example, are you worried about specific aspect of management or performance? And I can type here as well. I want my team to deliver fast. Excuse my typo here, see if the AI understands my typo. You're eager to increase your team's productivity and speed. Have you identified any specific area where the workflow could be improved or streamlined? Consider setting clear expectations, goals, and tasks. So I can also ask the AI to recommend some videos and other practices for me. So I can say, can you recommend a video on leadership? Now the AI can search through our database and get recommended videos plus. So now I start things through this database and get some recommended content. Now as another use case, we can also have the AI digest an organization's content and context and respond in a more customized and personalized way. So in this case, we use Bank of America as an example, and we have ingested some documents about Bank of America. Say we can ask, so in this case, for example, someone as a new employee who's in customer support can ask Bank of America what are their values, and then the product can come back with tips and suggestions. And our product is also available as from browser extension, so you don't always need to go to your web. The goal is to make it available anytime, anywhere. So you can access it in the Chrome browser extension. We're also developing a Slack app, Zoom app, so make it available anytime, anywhere. So now the AI can come back with more company-specific suggestions. For example, can tell us what are Bank of America's values based on the documents we have already ingested. Now we can also go through some of the practices we have on the platform and have the AI to understand users' answers and come back with suggestions as well. So for example, we have this daily practice to get people to understand their emotions and other people's emotions in order to improve certain skills. So for example, I can tell the product that I'm stressed because of much work. And then I can tell the product what my top challenges are. Now the product can come back with suggestions based on some of the things that people have input. So can say to prevent burnout, we can introduce measures that make work-life balance goal, encourage people to take regular breaks and throughout the day prioritize leisure. These are some of the examples. Anyone has a particular challenge? Anyone wants to share what you have in mind and you want to talk to our AI coach about? Staying motivated? Yeah. Okay. Yourself or your team? Me. Yourself, okay. I want to figure out how to stay motivated. Thank you for the question. Now, our coach Amo say, it's great that you're seeking ways to stay motivated in your new role. Can you share more about what usually motivates you or any specific challenge you're facing in staying motivated?
I'd like to get a promotion as fast as possible.
Okay. I would like to get a promotion as fast as I could. Any tips? We're also working on making the AI respond in the voice. So at the next iteration, I'll talk back to you as well. So it's not just coming back with text. So it's like to increase your chances of a promotion, it's important to demonstrate your value and potential to the organization. This can be achieved by taking on additional responsibility, showing initiatives, and consistently driving high quality work. Additionally, building strong relationship with colleagues and superiors can also be beneficial. It may also help to express your career ambitions to your manager so they're aware of your goals. Remember that promotions often come with increased responsibility, so ensure you're ready for this step in your career.
Textbook.
How does it sound?
It's textbook. It's
Text.
textbook. That's verbatim. That's what you read in a college, right?
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
textbook.
Now, we can also try with a different use case. So if say that
Very French.
during with an angry customer, AI can also come back with tips and response as well. And if you have other use cases, please feel free to suggest you can test it out as well. So, as the tip is that dealing with an angry customer can be challenging. It's important to remain calm and patient, listen to their concerns attentively, and try to understand the perspectives. Apologize for any inconvenience caused, and assure them that you're there to help resolve the issue. Might also find useful to watch some videos on effective communication, conflict resolution strategies. So what I demo here, anyone can go to amotionsinc.com to sign up. We always looking for people to use our product, individuals, organizations to use our product, and we would appreciate value. So you can sign up for free. There's a premium version as well. You can always talk to me. And the more we work with an individual or company, the more we can get access to documents about yourself or information about you. We can make suggestions and feedback more personalized and more specific. And we also raising funding, accepting angel or B2C checks. So if anyone interested, we'll love to talk.
Does anyone have any questions? Any questions?
Nice demo. Thank you for
Thank you.
showing us. How do you handle proprietary corporate data? Do you store it locally? Or?
Great question. Yeah, so we right now we're storing the data in our database, and we're setting up different kind of vector stores to store the data. We're actually moving to use Microsoft OpenAI inside Azure, so hopefully make it more secure as well. So yeah, and we're going to encrypt all the information data. So we're making sure we're not sharing data between different companies that we can work with. Thank you.
So how is your outcome different from ChatGPT? Do you put any
Yeah, so we are using some of the videos that we have, as well as other materials and data that we have to fine-tune the models, because ChatGPT is generic, versus we focus more on the learning and coaching side of things. So using that combined with personal or company-specific data to make it more specific. For example, if we can get access to someone's calendar, we can even give suggestions real time. And if we can analyze someone's meeting, we can give real-time feedback based on someone's meeting notes and what they think in the middle of the meeting as well. So, and the more proprietary data we're going to get about user and organizations, the more we make it specific, which is different from ChatGPT. Normal people can't really ingest so much data.
We have George with the MyMap.
Alright guys, this is George from MyMap. So before we start today, I'd like to see a raise of hands for how many of you guys in the audience actually appreciate a good visual, like let it be good diagrams, well-made deck, PowerPoints, some good pictures. Okay, keep your hands up there for now. Okay, keep your hands up there if you're actually good at making them. Hey, all right. Okay, so that's precisely the reason why we use MyMap. So the idea here is that we all appreciate good visuals, but they're actually surprisingly hard to make, right? So we make you your favorite GPT reference that makes you good visuals, right? So to give you an idea. So let's see, to start, maybe we should start with some of the, Silicon Valley celebrities like Steve Jobs. So tell me about the story of Steve Jobs, something like that. Okay, so it's a little bit small on the screen, but so, we're doing LLMs and we think the interface should be chat-based, right? So the idea is that you're kind of talking with your intern, right? So say, okay, tell me something about Steve Jobs, and then right? It's going to ask you for more questions, right? Asking for more context, which is also always a good thing to do, right? So things like, okay, which aspect of Steve Jobs' life, right? Leadership style, role at Apple, personal life, choices from the audience. So which one are you guys most interested in?
This role at Apple.
Okay, Apple. So, okay, sure. Let's do that. Okay, you just choose it. And okay, so right. So and the system will kick in, and it's going to generate stories for you. And so you're just kind of making the PPTs. And there is also actually a presentation mode, right? You can actually just go into the PPTs, right? 1966, Steve Wozniak garage. And it actually also picks the right picture for you. And we're actually using Bing image service, and it's actually the most reliable service we've found. Pretty good results. Yeah, different presentation types. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, sorry, Apple. And the thing here is that there are actually many types of diagrams you can choose from. So for example, like okay, you see, you've seen the presentation, right? What if you want to see something like okay, what do you want to see like a mind map, right? Same kind of topics, right? It's just different kind of diagram, right? You can literally just do that. Just ask your intern, right, to make the diagram for you. Right? If you are the type that's kind of into mind map stuff. And for mind maps, like it has pretty well like equipped editors. So you can like do pretty typical, text editings, like all the things you probably see in Notion, like providing fixed grammars, shorter renders. And you can also like, okay, let's just say, for example, you're kind of just doing a brainstorming, right? Let's see, like you're interested in, like maybe you're into the drama, right? Like the internal struggles, right? And you can just say, okay, you're interested, right? Just say, oh, tell me more about it, right? And then you can, just go into that topic, keep going, right? So this is kind of the power of mind maps, right? You can just kind of explore the ideas, like at different points, different, depths you want. And of course, like maybe you're kind of drafting for a presentation, like you can just do the editing in the mind map, and when you're done, you can kind of, okay, I think I'm happy with the results, and you can kind of have it go back to the presentation or like back first. So yeah, that's kind of like two of the pretty well used, types of visuals. And of course, there are kind of more. We actually have let's see. We actually have like pretty big libraries about like different kind of diagrams all made by the apps, right? Some people favorite SWOT analysis. You can actually even store it like your favorite articles like Paul Graham's essay, right? And it can help you like generate something. Maybe you want to dive into the article as as a PPTs, or maybe you want to dive into it as like mind map. You can do that. And you can also have things like UML diagrams. If you are like programmers and that's the type of visual you're into, you can also do that. And yeah, so that's the idea. All right. I can take some questions.
So, for example, like onboarding, let's say you have onboarding of clients and things, or agents, so you just can get an in-depth sequence of your industry, or how are you connecting? Say, for example, in financial services.
Right.
And you onboard people that have lots of accounts, lots of different things, lots of different vendors. Can you map them out for integrity?
Yeah, like so the idea like is like for example like you can kind of store it as like for example like an article, right? Like an essay, like if you have the documents like PDF style or you know as a URL, you just store it in the system.
So you can map out a lot of different software systems, you map by uploading the documents that you have, and then you can start to scan.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
To be able to guide them as to what they're doing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea here. Right.
I think you kind of already answered it, but
Uh-huh.
if I want to use my own images or my own, not just in general Steve Jobs history on
Yeah.
the web,
Uh-huh.
can I do that?
Oh, you mean like adding images, things like that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean like it's kind of like it's actually like an editor, so you can replace images and updating it. Yeah, you can do that. It's like you can edit things. It's not like the thing generated and like it's just there.
Because I upload like a set of images that I want the AI to use.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see what you mean. Not there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If I kind of have the end product in mind, like a 12-slide presentation with heavy text on every other slide, if image heavy on every other slide or something like that, can you give it that sort of direction up front so that it creates that sort of output, or are you is it still more kind of general input?
I see what you mean.
Creates, yeah.
So like this, under the hood, like essentially like we are kind of just like using a pretty complicated prompts, right? And just asking it to generate this kind of template that's kind of fed into the backend to generate this kind of visuals, right? So there isn't really like limitations on like what exactly the format and structure. But hallucination is a problem. Like it might not perfectly follow the prompts you give it, but like usually it's pretty flexible. Cool. All right, thank you guys.
Thanks again, George. So next up we have Gano with Sayso.
Hi everyone, my name is Gana, and I am the founder of Sayso. While we're waiting for this to, here we go. So what I see in generative AI market is that images are capturing everybody's imagination, and they can evoke really strong emotions. So I put this puppy out there for you. I see a lot of LLM rise, and LLMs are very useful. But what happens to us if we don't have LLMs or we don't have images? We are stuck with the voice. And I see that voice is being very underdeveloped and underexplored. Voice is one of the most important ways we actually get information. My company is working on voice alone, and our mission is to make voice experiences suck a little less. Right now, speech technologies are really underdeveloped, and they don't perform well outdoors. There's really nothing to augment human communication, and there's very little to do things in real time. My company is solving all of those things. We use generative AI to augment speech in real time, so we can add filters to create a particular impression, a particular type of speech. We're also working on noise reduction for more extreme environments like outdoors. And we're also working on compressing and decompressing speech so we can handle like really low bound environments. And I wanted to show you our very first product that is actually about to come up. And this is a real-time accent filtering that enables people to hear accents they understand best, or speak with accent of their choice without pronunciation training. It does preserve people's voices, it does preserve their emotions, and it kind of infuses this particular accent like somebody from Poland, like me, who lived in US for 10 years, rather than just came to Poland. But without further ado, just let me show you how it works. So I have this small speaker, and I really hope you can hear it well enough. So this is Mira J, and this is Mira without Sayso. So I'll play you a little bit of her speech without filter.
Hi Alan, this is Mira J from Remodel Company. How's your day going? Our company specializes in comprehensive bathroom renovation services that can help you create the bathroom of your dreams. Our services include interior design, plumbing, electrical work, tile installation, and much more. Our team has years of experience in the industry and a proven track record of delivering high-quality results for our clients.
Okay, I'm going to stop it because it's long, so I'm going to show you how she sounds with the filter.
Hi Alan, this is Mira Jai from Remodel Company. How's your day going? Our company specializes in comprehensive bathroom renovation services that can help you create the bathroom of your dreams. Our services include interior design, plumbing, electrical work, tile installation, and much more. Our team has years of experience in the industry and a proven track record of delivering high-quality results for our clients. At Remodel, we believe that a well-designed bathroom can greatly improve your quality of life, and we are committed to helping you achieve your vision. Our approach is centered around working closely with you to understand your needs and preferences, and then using that information to create a personalized renovation plan that meets your unique requirements. I would love the opportunity to discuss your bathroom renovation project in more detail and see how we can help. Would it be possible to schedule a meeting to measure the space and go over the details? How about next Tuesday at 5 p.m.? Wonderful. Can you please provide your address so I can plan the visit? And to make sure we don't miss anything, may I have your email address so I can send you a confirmation? Got it. Thank you. The confirmation will be on its way to your inbox. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.
So this is actually designed to work on the edge. It's lightweight and it can handle real-time conversations. It will be live this year, but actually next week we're putting up a beta app where people can upload and download files and infuse their speech with accent of their choice. It will change the accent. And I can give you a quick preview of actually a bunch of files that was on unseen data, and it was put through this model. But those are quick, short fragments.
Open your book to the first page. Open your book to the first page. His wide grin earned many friends. His wide grin earned many friends.
Glue the sheet to the dark blue back. Glue the sheet to the dark blue back.
Kindly provide your order number. Kindly provide your order number.
The cup cracked and spilled its content. The cup cracked and spilled its content.
The pearl was worn in a thin silver ring. The pearl was worn in a thin silver ring.
Let it burn, it gives us warmth and comfort. Let it burn, gives us warmth and comfort. Footprints showed the path he took up the beach. Footprints showed the path he took up the beach. Tend the sheep while the dog wanders. Tend the sheep while the dog wanders. The barns left most of the town in ruin. The barns left most of the town in ruin.
The fin was sharp and cut the clear water. The fin was sharp and cut the clear water.
I'd be happy to clarify any doubts. I'd be happy to clarify any doubts.
Okay, so with this ending, I'll be happy to clarify any doubts. And I'm ready for your questions if you have any.
What are your target markets and your use cases for like this one, the accent specifically?
So the target market is everywhere where speech experience matters. So everywhere we're on the phone, on a conference call, talking to somebody. For accent transformation in particular, we see a lot of need coming from international teams, especially offshore and nearshore. And then we see a lot of interest coming from call center and contact center, especially in sales, because familiarity really does help to persuade and close deals.
Is there latency in the person speaking and then the tool actually changing the accent?
So this tool has a 100 millisecond latency, and it can actually be delivered in many ways. So it can be as a software standalone, or it can be embedded into existing communication systems. When it's embedded into existing communication systems, it actually uses some of the latency the system has, so it doesn't like double down on the latency.
Any other questions?
Maybe you've noticed that Americans are louder than a lot of other people. No. What about volume equalization? I remember 20 years ago you saying that like boost
You can do it very easily. Yes. Yes.
We do the reverse. So you're speaking to someone, and they might come from, let's say, Newcastle in England. It's quite a difficult accent to understand. And if you're Polish or you speak exceptionally good English, you're going to really struggle to understand someone. So can it actually translate what a customer's voice is?
Actually, it can. So it can. So it's like we're putting minimal, like a very like minimum version right now, which is just US pair and Indic accent pair. But we have technology that can detect accent based on 3 seconds, and it can actually like convert it into the desired accents. The question of training data and how many accents you actually want to include in this.
It's really good for the call center people to have a consistent voice. All the customers speaking their consistent voice.
Yeah, and then the people ask a lot about what is perfect accent. So the perfect one for everybody else is different. It's the easiest one for you to understand, and it's the one you're most familiar with. So the one you hear the most. So there's no like right or wrong one.
Thanks again, Ghana. So next up we have Eva with Unseen.
Hi everyone, I'm Eva, the founder of Unseen Identity. This October, we are going to launch a technology, Unseen Identity Neuroscience Generative AI Innovation. We are going to introduce the future of instant communication with AI models, including ChatGPT, without prompts or instruction. So what do I mean is that what's a little bit more powerful than other Gen AI tools now is you don't need to type any instruction to generate responses. Our model is designed to not only empower you to communicate better, but also assist other LLMs in enhancing their predictive capabilities and individualizing outputs, harmonize and individualize AI responses with users' emotions and potential abilities. So developed through 4 years of neuroscience experiments since 2016, with 8 neuroscientists and 3 data scientists, our model can auto-screen users' thought process and personality traits within 30 seconds, just 30 seconds, through interaction with scientific stimulus on screen, which looks like a 30-second gamified process for users. So currently with ChatGPT and other AI models, if you need to use it to process any content, there are 2 inputs required. The first thing is any content you want it to process, right? And the second one is the instruction, how you want it to be redraft or rephrased, right? So now with our 30-second Gen AI screening model, it takes the instruction part out of this equation. So what you do is that you just have a few keywords relating to the content you wish it to process, and in a few seconds, users will this for the video. Users can see the automated communication in writing relating to their thoughts and emotions. This expands the interaction and application scope with both AI models and human. Our model is proven with clinical experiments over the course of 4 years, cross-verified with physiological data during neuroscience experiments and 8 other traditional psychology questionnaires to confirm the exceptional accuracy. So our innovation breakthrough lies in that we managed to run a rapid screening outside of lab, backed by the same traditional neuroscience paradigm, with results matching the same clinical accuracy that normally requires at least 60 to 90 minutes to generate prediction for each person in lab with all those biometric devices. And our screening model, it is only done in 30 seconds for per user. And you can reuse the screening result as many times as you like for generating content without using any sensors, any biometric data, or any textual instruction from users. So our model distinguishes between 2 types of motivation, thinking, or emotions, as you call it. The first type is intentional, which are more explicit and tied to routine and duties. And the second type is automatic, which are subconscious and linked to your implicit motivation driving all your actions and goals. So apart from identifying explicit emotions, which current NLP and LM models also may possess certain kind of predictive capabilities, our screening models can uniquely identify the later subconscious implicit motivation in just 30 seconds, offering a unique understanding of underlying thoughts and feelings behind action and conversations. As you can see, after the 30-second screening, these are the insights that can be provided. It covers attributes about your current emotions, cognitive capabilities, personas type, and these help to facilitate predictions about your mental state, your communication preference, and provide indications about your work performance and interaction with others. So now it's time for a demo. Let's take a closer look at how it works. So here, below here is the input frame. So you can just choose one, like a new paragraph, maybe a job description and job description to replace the one. And click confirm. And then do the screening, 30-second screening. So it just looks like a gamified process. But behind, we are taking behavioral data up to milliseconds. It's taking all your behavioral preference, all your attention, your strategy, how you react when you make a mistake, your response time, and so on. So this is just one of the versions of the screening. So 30 seconds is up. So yeah, so you can go back to the prompt page. Yeah, go back to here. And then you just choose a theme for generating your content and click transform. So note that like for your second time of trying to transform other content, you don't need to do the screening again because you can reuse this screening result. So this is a summary of the emotion and thought patterns prediction backing up the transformation below. Yeah, so it's done. So as you can see here, if you take a look at the bold words in particular, you can see that this human-like agent is simulating the user's emotions, thinking patterns, interaction desired, his communication style at work, and yeah, and towards the end, the user is also explaining how she can utilize her different strengths in improving her work performance, and you also mentioned a little bit about her vision and do a little bit of introspective like reflection as well. So any form of text is acceptable in a model, and these output responses can be generated within seconds before the individual provide any names, age, or any background. So nothing is needed, just a 30-second speak. No background information is required for generating this transformation. So the last point I want to say is that users can automate their own generative mental models. So this is the mental model behind every content transformation. They can utilize their own mental model, generative mental model to communicate that do not require any additional instruction. A model helps user to improve accuracy for this content output by allowing users to highlight their preferences in the output responses, and these will be automatically saved to the mental model for providing more accurate output responses next time. So thank you very much. So if you want to talk more about it and know more about projection for business models, please reach out. Thank you.
Any questions? When do you go live? When do you go live? You're in beta? You go live?
Yes, this will how when we launch it.
When you launch? When are you gonna launch? When?
When in October. We have a expansion campaign October. So we are really excited that by that time we are going to be the kind of the first one. We will need to add people for the expansion.
Thanks again, Eva. So next up we have Rohan with Wordsmith.
Hey everyone. Right. I'm the last one. I picked the name for the company that starts with a W, and I found out after coming here that it's alphabetical by company name. So I get to go down. Cool. So I'm the founder of the Wordsmith. A little bit about my background before I get into sort of how this started. I'm an engineer by training. So I spent the first good 7-8 years of my career writing C++ code for building simulators for hardware description languages in the semiconductor world. And then my career kind of took a different path. I went into marketing. I've been in marketing for the last 10 years. Most recently, I was the CM of a little startup. And I've been playing around with generative AI quite a bit, and it just kind of made sense that, I can build products, I know marketing, let's create something for marketers using AI. So that's what led to this. One of the things that I noticed by using ChatGPT or other AI tools for marketing was that the content is pretty generic. The models don't know much about your company or how your brand should sound, what matters to you, what are your values, right? What's your brand's purpose? And it's very, very hard to prompt every single time you want to use, to put all of that context into your prompt and get something that is actually on brand. So that's what led to the creation of the Wordsmith. It's a generative AI tool for marketers to create content that's always on brand. And it's also been trained with everything that I have learned as a marketer for the last 10 years on what are the best practices, how should a landing page be structured, how do you think about copy. I derive a lot of inspiration from the greats. Like I could never see ChatGPT or any generic AI tool come up with masterpieces like Think Different or Hotmail, right? So how do we elevate generic AI to aspire to be like the David of movies, right? So this is the first step towards that. I'll give you a quick demo. Okay.
So, is this big enough? So when you log in the product, the first thing that you want to do is feed in all of your information about the company and the brand. So this is pre-filled, so that's why it's giving me the prompt. But let's go to the knowledge base. Right? So what I want to fill in here is I want to give as much context as I can to the tool about who I am, who my company is as a brand, what do we do, how do we do it, how do we differentiate. Right? So I've filled in this for the Wordsmith for now. So the name of the company is Wordsmith.ai. We're an AI co-pilot for marketers to generate everything from starting to copy. What's the differentiation? So we train the co-pilot based on the company's information and the brand's tone of voice, so on and so forth. And what's our purpose? Right? So why do we do what we do? So we believe that in the world of AI generated content, where very soon there's going to be a big volume of generic content out there, brands need to stand out, and how do they use AI to do that? And we also celebrate human creativity, right? That's what goes in there. This could be whatever is relevant for your brand. And then we capture in our value proposition the content that's always on brand, learnings, most effective marketing tactics, simple, easy to use. Then comes the tone of voice. So there's probably other AI tools that or maybe something that similar or in the vicinity of what we're doing. So how do we differentiate? Right. So there's a guided setup, and some of these frameworks that you see here, the brand personality traits. These are something that I've learned over time. Used it to build brands at companies that I've been at. So it's a guided setup. So you kind of discover your tone of voice if you haven't yet figured it out, or if you already know what you sound like or what you should sound like, you can always put it in here. So I say, are you a high-end product, a broad appeal product, or neither? Right? So you can say neither. Are you a very serious brand or a playful brand? And there's examples of brands so you can relate to. If you don't exactly know how you sound like, you can actually understand from some examples here. Like, okay, I'm more like a Are you disruptive? Are you established? Are you trendy? Are you not? So I fill all of this in. I hit save. All of this goes in the system, and then I'm here, right? So the first thing I do is I plug in the target persona that I want to generate content for. So marketers who are using or intend to use generative AI. I'm going to generate. This is something more fun. Any particular kind of content you guys want to see? Social post?
A LinkedIn post for this evening's.
What?
A LinkedIn post for this evening.
A LinkedIn post for?
For this evening's presentation.
Till and on it, have the opportunity to do some personal AI at the recent event, jointly organized by Reconify and Microsoft. Heartwarming thank you. Event was rich, and it gives you about it, cutting edge technology, with the privilege to stand amongst innovators and smart. Now, maybe I don't.
You've got hashtags.
Yeah, it has hashtags. Let's do something more fun. So I want to refine this a little bit, right? So it's kind of plain text, right? So I'll say add a few emojis and add a hand. Right. So now we have emojis in there. Information, link to the website, more hashtags. So, so right now we are live as of this morning. Everything is live. So if you guys want to try it out, it's at the Wordsmith.ai. So how do I see this evolving? Right? I mean, one of the biggest challenges with the power of generative AI that every marketer on a marketing team has is that the brand management team is always nervous, right? Because you want consistency in your messaging, you want consistency in your tone of voice, and you have a brand management team that is governing all of that, right? So think of a use case where what I filled in on the previous page is actually controlled and owned by the brand management team, right? And the users essentially only use the prompt. So the entire positioning, the guardrails, right? These words are off limits to use. This particular value proposition is not how we use it. Right? I used to work for a company previously that staff talent from overseas, right? And as soon as you think about talent, staff from overseas, you think about inexpensive talent. Right? But the company's positioning never used that as a value proposition. It never said the talent is less expensive, right? It was more about quality and access and so on. And if you ask ChatGPT in general, or we are a staffing company sourcing talent from Latin America, it is very likely that it will generate a social post that says you can hire talent at 50% of the cost, whatever that is. So how does brand management make sure that that doesn't happen and there's consistency? So even today, as an individual user, you can have all of that on the previous page, like what's your value proposition, guardrails, and then this also acts as a creative brief. So all the information is always there. You're defining the audience, and essentially you're giving one-line prompts. So I wake up in the morning. I'm the founder of a startup, and I don't have a marketing team. I don't have a social media manager. I wake up in the morning. I say, one more prompt. Create a leadership post on. So this already has all the context of the company. I wake up, I do not have a lot of time. I want to make sure that my post is on brand. And I just come in here, it takes me about 30 seconds to give a simple 5 or 7 word prompt, and that's it. Yeah, so that was my demo. While we wait for this one.
So this is a provocative question. So I think many of us perhaps do things like this all the time with just stock ChatGPT.
Right. Would you mind speaking up?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So I think many of us do things like this all the time with sort of stock ChatGPT or other AI. What's the advantages that Wordsmith gives over just doing it?
Yeah. So there's a couple of different things. One is that the knowledge base is always in there. So doing it every day, like I wake up, I open ChatGPT, I'm starting fresh. How do I have that memory of what the brand is, right? One. Two, because all of that is already in there, you're much faster. I'm done. I've had my Monday morning post as a founder of Wordsmith already. I'm done, right? The second, the most important one is that we are also doing a lot of prompt engineering and fine-tuning based on marketing best practices. Right? So how do you put in best practice? How do you put in the tried and tested frameworks and methodologies of marketing? How should a landing page be structured? All of that is being put in there. So it's very contextual in that sense, right? So it does use GPT-4 in the background, but there's a lot of fine-tuning and prompt engineering that happens before that.
Awesome, thanks.
Awesome, thanks. We do have one last special guest demo, a quick ski demo. Sam and I worked together for a long time at AWS and happened to be in town, so we can just show him this new platform.
All right. Okay, so I know we don't have a lot of time. I have a lot to show, so I'm just gonna line up a few screens. I know we have to be out of here shortly. So, CEO of Voiceworx.ai, we basically conversational AI platform, generative AI platform. Sayso to lead conversational AI partnerships at Amazon, and then also led Alexa for introduction to business. And from that, our platform basically allows you to dynamically create AI assistants, both using traditional conversational AI and generative AI. And it's a platform that allows you to kind of connect to all of your enterprise systems. So if you've got Salesforce, ServiceNow, AWS, whatever, you can hook all of them up as data sources, right? And then you can then build applications on top of it, right? And you can decide what types of applications you want to build. Do you just want to build NLP-powered applications? Do you want to build GenAI-powered applications? Do you want to do like RAG? We're integrating into Pinecone, OpenAI, a number of different LLMs that you can use to build. We have a content management solution kind of built in. So if I'm designing like a chat interface, I can pick what kind of model I want to use. And basically you create your application, and then you can start kind of talking to it. Again, because I'm limited on time, I've been just kind of having some interaction, asking some questions. And these answers are not coming from OpenAI's general knowledge. It's coming from the knowledge base of the company blended with that general knowledge. And the way we train that is I'm really rushing here. So we have I talked about we have a content management system built in, and basically you can come in here and decide on which assistant you want to train, and you can basically add URLs to your website. So you can decide that knowledge base, a Google documents, all sorts of artifacts that you have, it will ingest it right into the database and use that as kind of like knowledge augmented search. So when you ask a question, you can go first and check your internal content to determine if you have information that's relevant, and then use that to augment the generation that happens with the LLM. So kind of best of both worlds. Right, and then we have a simplified interface for users, so that in some cases you might have users within your enterprise that are not really technical. They don't want to go into the studio and do all that design and deal with ChatGPT. They just come in here, you create the assistants, publish it, they come into this interface, and they can choose to just use it, right? Or they might choose to support multiple interfaces. So they might just activate like a web chat interface, or a phone interface where they want to make a call to a number. It will generate a phone number where you can call and interact with the assistant. So if you think about like an appointment booking assistant, right? You can basically come in here, pick the appointment booking template, publish it, you get a phone number, and then you can publish that, and that you can start answering your call, booking appointments, and sending your emails, or sending them into your Salesforce. Those types of use cases can be enabled on the platform. We're almost releasing our digital human interface where you can actually have kind of like a web-based interaction, talking back and forth with a digital human, all powered by the same engine on the background. It can be Gen AI, it can be NLP. And we also support contact centers as well. So the assistant you design can be plugged into like an Amazon Connect, so that if your agent is busy, you can kind of fail over calls over to the AI assistants. So I know that's a lot of stuff. We've got a lot in the platform, but basically it's a platform for you to create AI assistant for building blocks that are data sources, enterprise system, large language models, business processes. We have an orchestration designer in there as well, where you can design your processes and how it should work based on rules that you have. And basically, at the end of the day, you then choose which interface you want to expose the assistant through, and basically run it as a SaaS offering, or we also deploy it to enterprises, within like a DPC. So that's it at a high level. I usually take like 30 minutes to an hour to kind of go into the different things we have, but I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Sam?
So as far as our lead generations, it's a backbone that helps automate the lead processing.
Yes, you could use it for lead processing. So you pick one of our, we have a library, a blueprint library of templates. So if you pick maybe a lead processing template and you publish it to maybe web chat, you could then put that on your website. So when a customer comes in and says, "Hi, I'm looking for information," it could answer questions from the knowledge base that it trains from your website, or it could book appointments. You could basically collect the information and make an appointment for the customer.
This also uses email.
What's that?
Does it scan email as well?
Does it send out emails?
So you can scan email that comes in. Sorry?
What do you mean by scan?
Well, I mean, you have interfaces with the web chat, phone, digital, email. What about email communication?
Oh, okay. No, so we don't deal with emails, so even like emails flowing in.
Yeah.
Not currently, but we also have like API exposing most of what we're doing, and we've got a customer that actually the SMS text there is Twilio, and we have a customer that's doing Twilio and email. So if requests coming through either one, it's just text. It processes it the same way you can respond, and then within the designer, you can send out emails and send out SMS.
You can't send an email?
You can send out emails, yeah.
Just
But
receive.
the received one, you kind of need to couple that together and then call the API. But it's easy to do. Right. Out of time. And if you want to try it out, just go to Voiceworx.ai.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks everyone for attending. So what we do is everything was recorded, so we'll do a quick write-up of the blog post that will include the video and share it out via newsletter. So everyone that signed up will be on that email thread to see these. And if you ever want to present, feel free to email me, and there's also a link in it'll be in the newsletter, a link to a Google form you can fill out if you'd like to present. But I appreciate everyone presenting.